Literally 2 nights ago a female friend of mine said, "Is it just me, or are you and I probably going to bang soon?" Well, it's not just you anymore. Legit chuckled at this, as opposed to a legitimately chuckling at this. My best friend told me that she had been told before that she gives amazing blowjobs, trying to snake into my pants, but my thick ass responded with cool, thereby preserving my virginity for 2 more years. IDK bruh. I've had a girl mention such things, and I responded with I'd like to judge for myself sometime, and it went nowhere. Nah man, you should have just constantly acted like you don't believe her. Just always respond with a slow nod and a dramatic. In college a girl asked me to come over and help me move my bed. I brought a friend along to help. Damn dude, that's gotta sting. In fairness to me, it was a queen bed and there is no way I could have moved it myself, but with her help, move it 1/4 inch at a time. I was in high school at the time and attended an English course in a language school nearby. I got along well with the class though I was younger than them by 2 years. One day, I was discussing my summer plans with a girl and I mentioned I would like to go to a 1-day music festival 3 hours away from our city but didn't have a car to go and come back. She ever so kindly mentioned that she also really wanted to go there but had no one else to go with. She continued by suggesting we should go together. We can go in my car and, if it gets late we can sleep in it. I thanked her but declined because my parents would probably not like the idea. Yup. In my early 20s I was on a sorta casual/competitive adult swim team. After practices, we would hang out in the hot tub and chat. I didn't notice it at the time, but one girl seemed a bit more interested in my dumb stories than the rest. Me and her swam in the same lane, even though she should have moved into the faster lane during practices. I would sometimes stay for a few extra laps before the hot tub, and so would she. I appreciated it, as she was faster, and I liked the competition. We did that once, until we were the last ones in the lengths pool. I say good times, get out, so does she. We're chatting on the pool deck, she stops mid-conversation, does a slow, lingering, look me up and down, looks me back in the eyes after what seemed like 5 seconds and smiles. I should mention I was wearing one of those skin-tight swimsuits. Oh. A little backstory, I used to like this girl during high school and she moved away for a few years. I asked her out one summer, we'd been spending a lot of time together, and she said no. Fast forward 3-ish years, she moves back in the area and we start talking again. We text back and forth for a little bit and I randomly get a few picture texts that I have to download from my account. This was 15-ish years ago, back before texting was a big thing and AIM was more popular. I was hanging out at a friend's place and forget about them at the time. Never flirty at all, just standard bullshit chat. She invites me over a few days later, as she just got into her new apartment at university, and I swing by around 8 PM to hang. Turns out she has no furniture other than a bed and a TV in the room and is moderately drunk when I got there. We decide to watch a movie for a while, just sitting and chatting, and her sister calls her, drunk and needing a ride and a place to stay. So my friend gets pissed off and kicks me out so she can get her sister. So I'm super confused and now having to figure out what happened, and she calls me and yells at me about manning the fuck up. And why didn't you make a move on me? I wouldn't have picked up the phone, and there was never any indication of getting laid, even mild physical contact. At this point, I remember the picture messages sent to me and opened them on my computer the next morning. Nudes. God damn it. There was a chick with mutual friends that often hung out with us. She was cute and I suggested that she and I go out together. Every single time one of our friends would butt in, I honestly thought she was inviting them so that she wouldn't have to be alone with me. No worries, I dropped it for a couple years. Then my appendix burst. I had emergency surgery and somehow she ended up babysitting me for a week. After I recovered, I invited her back out as a thank you. We got to the restaurant and she made a comment about how we were alone. I honestly thought she didn't want to be alone with me. After a bit, I just asked her what the deal was and how had I made her uncomfortable. Turns out, she was ready to fuck from years before. Our nosy friends just wanted to go out and have fun. She was too shy to say anything to them, or me. At a bar on the patio outside talking to a guy when a bus goes past with an advert for the new Tomb Raider game on it. conversation turns to this and I say that I bought it on the release date. Next thing he says is, I should come by one night to play it. I responded that it was a single player. Didn't realize till next day what he was saying. Damn, I'm stupid. A girl I liked once proposed to meet up at her place to play some games. I got the hint and did have sex with her, but she told me she was kinda bummed when I did indeed hit her PlayStation for an hour before kissing her the first time. Well, that's on her. You had your priorities straight, my man. A female friend of mine helped me to clean my room as I was searching for a helping hand because I'm lazy. When we were done, she sat down on the bed. I didn't even think about the possibility she could be interested, not even when she laid back and asked what we wanna do now. God, I really was blind. Then I offered her a coffee and brought her home. When I returned to my house and went up to my room, I noticed that she left a bag there. Curious as I peeked into it, and what did I find? Clothes and underwear. As for a sleepover, she is really one of the most beautiful girls I've met in my life, and I was single at this time. It's been 4 years since then and I still regret it badly, being blind and dumb. That's when you tell her she left her sleepover bag there and she should use it next time she's over. You can recover from these situations. Was in one of my first relationships, was trying not to be too forward as I was raised to be a gentleman, and therefore thought I'd be waiting months to do anything past second base. After a casual coffee date one day, she took me to her room and asked if I wanted to see what her pussy looked like. For scientific purposes, of course. My best friend's sister I had a crush on in high school kept cuddling all over me constantly every time we were together at his house for functions. I just thought I was a chunky teddy bear she liked using. Turns out she wanted more than that one night at a movie when she shoved her hand down my shorts. We had sex a few times but now she's married. Turns out she wanted more than that one night at a movie when she shoved her hand down my shorts. But how did you know though? He said, I'm not Canadian or just being polite. That seems awfully polite. Maybe she's super Canadian and just being really nice. This one time a friend asked me to come over to hang. I went to her place. We were chatting about all sort of things. She told me about her recent sexcapades and I was all, that's lovely, you're having a fun time, while sipping my drink. She proceeded to get more stoned and I figured she would want to sleep soon. So I put her to bed and went to sleep on the couch. About 10 minutes later she's like, why don't you come in here and I can tell you the rest of my stories. She had sort of got diverted in the middle of one. So I waltz in and slide onto her bed and lie about an arm's length from her while she's talking about some great head she got. Finally, I think this is the point where she really got frustrated and just took her top off. My brain went, oh, soon. So did my body. This guy I go to uni with kept sending me mixed signals like taking me on dates then ghosting me for a week, so eventually I just kinda gave up. Turns out he had a wet dream about me right after he met me and was too embarrassed to talk to me after that. It took him 5 months to tell me. I've shared this before on here, but there was this girl in high school who would rub against me, hug me, tell me to grab her ass, etc. Me being dumb as fuck thought she was just being nice. Wasn't until after high school and I moved overseas did I realize how dumb I was. Had a close friend in college that I thought wasn't into me. She convinced me to stay the night after a party, which I thought was weird, because I was fine to drive considering I only had 2 beers that night. After I say my goodbyes to everyone, I kind of sprawl out in the couch with the intention of going to bed. As I close my eyes, I hear her open her bedroom door and don't really think much of it. She grabs my hand and tells me her bed is big enough for us both, and that was that. We just celebrated our 4-year and laugh about this moment often. Had something like this happen when I was moving away from college. I casually mentioned to a group of friends that I'd be sleeping on my floor for a couple days because my furniture, what little I had, was moving a couple days before me. This girl has been friends with for a few years immediately goes, oh, you can stay at my place. I'm like, yeah, awesome. A bunch of us go out for drinks the first night I'm supposed to stay there. Nothing seems amiss. Night finishes and we head back to her place. Put down my bag and go over to the couch I figured I'd sleep on. She looks at me and goes, so you can sleep out here on the couch or you can sleep in my bed with me. I was so oblivious that I was like, what? Luckily other body parts took over for my brain at that point and we had a fun couple nights, but man, I was dumb. I got a slightly later than normal text asking me to come over to my now girlfriend's house. I thought nothing of it and showed up with my GameCube controller and snacks. After a few games with me not catching on to her flirting, she just came out with it. Then I played Smash all over again. Hey, at least you smashed. I'm really good friends with this couple and we were drinking at their house one night after going to bars. The other people hanging out there had gone to bed and taken up the guest room and couches, so I asked where I should sleep. Oh, we have a king bed, just sleep with us. I hopped in bed and said something corny like sleep tight, and then they both put the moves on and we fucked. Sexual peak. And I thought shit like this only happens in porn. A girl who worked in the same building as me, she was this cool, hippie, Irish chick, artistic and cool as fuck, which I'm not. We used to drink together and put the world to rights. I finally split up with my ex and we are having a drink as usual. I'm thinking, am I fucking high or is she flirting with me? The barman, who I knew well, said, is it me or is she flirting with you? I was like, right. It wasn't in my head. After more drinks we eventually kiss and I ask her WTF is going on. She said, did you think I was going for drinks with you cause I just wanna hang out? No you idiot. I was fresh out of a couple year ship and was having a big party to get over it. Was talking to one of the ex's friends and said I'm single now, tell all your slutty friends. Then she hit me with that sweet, I'm pretty slutty. I basically knew her first name and nothing else prior to that. We went upstairs. She said she really wanted me and I didn't get what she meant at first. She followed by saying for sex. I was like the sex thing. Yes. I'm really awkward. Edit. Wow, my top comment is about this. Can't wait to brag about this one, guys. It wasn't when she tackled me into the pool and wrapped her legs around me, or when she shoved her tongue down my throat. It was when she flat out reached down and grabbed me while ripping down my swim trunks. This is how I lost my virginity in a public pool at an empty hotel. Still don't remember her name. Edit. Yes, there was consent, it just all happened really fast. Really the only mistake about it is I didn't get to know her, which to some guys will seem like a dream.
Belly, let's go, baby.
Demonetization is dropping your eating to stop a migration of top innovation and content creation in an opposite way. I saw your new status and got inspiration to drop a new cape. On top of your face is a mock and the face of the clock is still raised. The mob is impatient. A monster is way cannot just escape. News drop like a cave. YouTube Ukraine thought you would make it. Asked all the creators who want to get paid for their awesome creation. So take the advice of God and make it. All I got to say is Calberry TV gets more traffic than a metropolis. Yes bitch, that's me. And I'm still looking for where my profit is.